Francis Dairu, KTN News, Nairobi.
All right, let's now take a look at some of the names being fronted for the CS Interior position. And the first one is Musalia Mudavadi, who is the most experienced on the list. Remember, Mudavadi first became a member of parliament in 1989 when he was elected and opposed in a by-election to take the Sabatier constituency seat that was vacated by his late father, Moses Mudamba Mudavadi. He has served Kenya in various capacities, including vice president. He equally has served as a minister in ministries like finance, transport, communication and information, and supplies and marketing, which he served in 1989 in his late 20s. And that is why he is currently serving in 3 portfolios as Prime Cabinet Secretary, that is the Foreign Affairs CS and Acting Interior and Gender CS.
Next on the list is Aden Duale, one of President William Ruto's most trusted allies, and a man who has stuck with the president through it all. Remember, he was vilified by the previous administration when he was serving as majority leader, a position which he lost due to his close association with Ruto. He was recently moved from the Defense Ministry to the Environment Ministry at the height of the Gen Z-led protest. If you can remember, the former deputy president alluded that his impeachment plot began a year ago. So President William Ruto is an astute planner. Was Duale's movement to the Environment Ministry a well-calculated move in anticipation of a heavier docket? Only time will tell.
Next up is Kipchumba Murkomen, another loyalist of President William Ruto. As an ardent defender, he has stuck with the president through his ups and downs. He was equally removed from the transport docket during the Gen Z protests. He was later named CS for Sports, which may be seen as a lighter document. He is a lighter docket. He is equally a human rights constitutional lawyer by training, qualifications that the previous office holder shares.
Well, let's move on to Davis Chirchir, also known to be a die-hard Ruto loyalist. He was retained during the recent cabinet shake-up and moved from the energy docket to the transport docket, where he currently serves as the cabinet secretary. Was this move in preparation for a lucrative interior ministry? We'll see. The possible names of individuals currently serving as CSs. Of course, Aden Duale is the Environment Cabinet Secretary, just a point of correction. But now there are those serving MPs who might just make the cut.
The first one is Junet Mohammed, who is the current Suna East Member of Parliament and Minority Leader in the National Assembly. He is a close confidant of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Now, this loyalty paying recently as he assumed the Minority Leader's position. It's not lost to Kenyans that the previous Minority Leader was picked to serve as Energy CS. So there's a good chance that he might be promoted. Remember, ODM is still eyeing more slots in the broad-based government. And Junet, being a bosom buddy of Raila Odinga, might just stand a chance, don't you think, Jesse?
Yeah, quite so. Memusi Kanchori is next on the list, the current MP for Kajiado Central. Earlier on, aligned with President Ruto's administration. The icing on the cake is the fact that he comes from a minority community, and this factor favored previous office holders. Case in point, Kithure Kindiki from Tharaka Nithi, the late George Saitoti, and the late Joseph Nkaiseri, who served in that particular position, just to name a few.
Next in line is Kimani Ichung'wah. Now, we all know about Kimani Ichung'wah, who is a loyalist of President William Ruto, vehemently defending government policies and programs and whipping members of parliament in parliament to support the government's agenda. He is the current majority leader and he hails from the Mount Kenya region, just like the previous Interior CS. And as you know, leadership is a two-way street, loyalty up and loyalty down.
Okay, to the wildcards in the group now. Let's take a look at the surprise entrant, Mutahi Kagwe, who is one of the best performing CSs in the previous regime, alongside Fred Matiang'i. He hails from Nyeri County, and his peak would sort of appease the electorate in that region, coincidentally, where the former deputy president hails from. The former health CS is also closely associated with former President Kenyatta. Will he want to be associated with the current government? We'll see.
The next wild card is Peter Kenneth, the former Gatanga Member of Parliament and former presidential candidate. He equally hails from the vast Mount Kenya region, specifically Murang'a. Just a few days ago, we saw mourners in Murang'a reject the president's condolence message, and his pick would be seen as a move to calm the quelling political tension in that particular region.
Well, last but definitely not least is Nderito Mureithi, a man who recently served as Laikipia governor. His track record speaks for itself, a man who has served in various capacities, including Assistant Minister for Industrialization in 2007 to 2013. If picked, the economist will be making a comeback to the political arena. So one of these individuals might just land that position as Interior Minister.